The Natural Habitat Podcast. The Natural Habitat Podcast. The Natural Habitat Podcast.
Yeah, okay, now you did whatever you need to do. So now I can turn it way down.
Okay.
All right, now it sounds really good.
Yeah, I think this is studio quality Skype.
Definitely, man. Let's just do a little back and forth, a little fast. How you been?
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's been a few weeks.
Excited about all this new music. Shit's going good.
Yep, once a week, you're staying true. This Skype quality that we have right now, it looks amazing. And it's going to sound like we're both in the same room. No one's going to know the difference.
I know. It's fucking awesome. This is exactly what I was hoping for, honestly. It was for this to be able to work. I don't know what made me think of it, too. Last night, I just figured it out. And then in the Skype settings, you could fully change everything. So we just fucking lucked out.
Damn. Well,
pray to the Skype gods.
I didn't even know they were real. All these times I should have been praying to them.
Yeah, no shit.
But yeah, that's dope, man.
I guess internet religion is a new thing now.
Is it?
I think we just invented it.
I just recently found out about cisgender, which I've been upsetting all my friends about. Do you know what a cisgender is?
No.
A cisgender is somebody who is heterosexual and identifies with the sex that they were born.
Huh.
So a straight person that's not trapped, that's not like a woman trapped in a man's body. You know what I mean? So just a guy, just a normal guy. Now you're not just a straight person. You would be a cisgender. So you fall in with all the different funny names for everything.
That is awesome, I guess.
Yeah, and a lot of people are hesitant to accept the term for some reason.
Well, yeah, I guess everybody needs to identify with something, whatever makes their little heart happy, I guess.
Right? How am I supposed to fill out a job application if I can't tell them what gender I am?
Right.
I used to check male, but now I'm going to have to write in cisgender. Just trip everybody out.
Yeah, I just write boss. That's all I put.
A boss.
Figure it out.
Yeah. Did you hear about that guy that sent in a resume about himself that was all his shortcomings and all of his failures and phone numbers of people that hated him? And
no, but
he got
sounds awesome.
He sent 2 separate applications to 10 different places, one with a standard application and then one with his reverse application, and had different names and everything on them. And the one that had all of his shortcomings and failures got like 8 interviews, and then his regular application got 1 interview.
Wow.
So apparently if you just hate on yourself, people like that.
Yeah, what a shitty system we live in now, to where you basically have to belittle yourself and others around you to get any type of response from people. It's like nothing normal is worth a shit anymore. You have to have some type of freak quality to fucking gain any type of respect now.
Yeah, it's weird, but that's just the oversaturation of people on the internet saying, "Look at me."
Yeah, it's people in their fucking emotional ass feelings that can't deal with normalities.
Yep. You need to just get with the times. God damn it.
I mean, it's cool that everybody's becoming sensitive to everybody's needs and all that jargon. But at the same time, we're tough people. You know, humans are a tough breed for a reason. And we need to remember that everything's not as sensitive as people try to make it out to be, you know?
Yep. And I think that what happened was, there was a time, I mean, it happened before I was born, but I remember when I was a kid, people would say something that would offend you, and you would just be offended, and that was it. And you would just go along with your day. But now, now you can, like, call the police or, you know, get that person fired. Like, I think it's weird how people will say something that's, like, sexist or racist or something on their Facebook page, and then 100 people will, like, contact their employer and get them fired for it. Like,
yeah,
it seems a little excessive. Certain things I understand.
Right. I feel like that's always been the case, bro. Look at if you're driving erratically on the freeway, how many people are going to report you? A lot.
True.
You know?
True.
Yeah, so it just falls back on people don't know how to mind their own business. And it's the same thing growing up in a small town. You know, everybody knows everybody. Everybody knows everything about you. Everybody speculates on what your next move's going to be, regardless of whether your intentions are good or not. You know what I'm saying? It's everybody basically just doesn't want to mind their own business.
Yep. And that's just the fun of life, man. Because other than that, people probably wouldn't interact if we weren't all hating on each other and telling each other how to act.
Right, I agree to some extent for sure.
Yeah.
People are a fickle creature.
Fucking A. Hey, man, but
what do you
what
do you think about this El Nino coming up? From the radar reports, it looks like it's going to be fucking massive and it's going to blow the 90s out of the water.
Yeah, I was reading about it this morning actually, and they were talking about all the hot water that's sitting out in the ocean that had just been cooking from all the temperature and no storms going over, no clouds. And that was the big thing in 97 was that these tropical storms picked up all this warm water and it just created all this steam that just fed the storm. So they're talking about that happening, but like times 3. And with all the drought that we have, everything's bone dry. So there's going to be all kinds of flooding, all kinds of bridges collapsing and shit. And crops are going to die. It's going to be horrible.
Well, I wouldn't take it that far. I feel like the places where we grow shit and everything is like all the crops, they are in places that are dealable. I do agree with our shitty infrastructure though, and that we're definitely not prepared for any type of storm type scenarios. That's for sure. But from the radar, it looks like Fukushima radiation or something, you know, like it's pretty fucking intense, and it goes from like South America and wraps all the way up to fucking Alaska almost. It's pretty intense.
That is that's a scary reality that people kind of thought was fake because it wasn't happening here. Like a lot of people that I tried to talk about with it, I don't know how I would string those words together. They like were just all like, oh yeah, whatever. Like it was something that they saw in a movie or something like that. But that is a real fucking thing. There was a lot of radiation pouring out every day, just going into the ocean, poisoning all the fish. And a lot of fishing happens there. That's like the central fishing area of the world, and all that fish is exported. And then now the fish are reaching our coasts, and it's just like all fucked up. And, you know, I could see some sort of man-made cataclysmic event like in the next 200 years, easy. That we just
for sure.
we just fuck shit up. But the Earth will be fine. The Earth will carry on. It's been here forever, so.
Yeah, I feel the same exact way. It's like someday, soon, something's going to happen, and it's going to be because of somebody who had too much money and too little oversight, and something crazy is going to happen to where it's going to have like an irreversible effect. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be some nuclear war shit. I don't know if it's going to be just lack of intelligence as far as like the Fukushima shit, or like, I don't know what it's going to be. Maybe a pandemic, maybe something crazy is going to happen in our lifetime.
Yeah.
And we're definitely going to have to figure out a way to work together to get out of it. You know, I feel like I like to give us a lot of credit. You know, I feel like we could do anything if we work together. So you never know. We might be able to handle whatever happens, and then again, depending on who it is that causes the catastrophe, we might not. You know.
And I have more faith in the human race now more than ever. And but the big thing to me, it tripped me out. It still trips me out when I heard the fact that in I think it was 1970, the world population was 4,000 or 4,600,000,000 people. And now in 2015, the world population is over 7 billion, almost 8. And that's double. Think about how long people have been here, like all the ancient civilizations and Romans and Greeks and shit. And just in the past, 40, 50 years, not even, fucking, we've doubled the world's population.
Yeah, it's pretty intense, bro. Here's a little plug. Do you watch Vsauce on YouTube?
No, I don't.
Subscribe, bro. They have some of the coolest facts. It's one of the coolest factual shows on YouTube. I found it by accident, and I've been hooked ever since. So Vsauce says that if you put every human being on Earth shoulder to shoulder in one spot, we could all fit in LA.
In LA? See, I heard I heard Texas was the last fact like that I heard, that everyone in the world could fit in Texas.
Yeah, comfortably.
Yeah.
If you put everybody shoulder to shoulder, touching each other, we could all fit in LA.
Man, that's
even
trip.
Crazier.
It's crazy.
Bro, LA's not that big.
Yeah. LA's not, and it's like, if you think about it, our planet isn't that big in comparison to our solar system or our universe or whatever. So it's like, you can fly halfway across the planet in a matter of hours. Yeah. In a plane. Not some sort of fucking crazy spaceship that's traveling fucking hella fast, just in a regular plane. So it's like, it's really not that big if you think about it. And 8 billion people is a lot of fucking people. And that's definitely a startling fact that everybody could fit in there.
It makes you feel even more insignificant.
Very true. Very true. I feel less and less significant every day. No
matter what we do, right? No
I just get older and older.
Podcast, music, whatever. It doesn't matter what it is or how far along we make it in our little dreams or whatever. We're still insignificant as fuck.
Yep. It's really not gonna last forever. And people say that, with technology and YouTube and everything now, that everything lasts forever and like you die and all of your stuff's still there. But eventually our sun's going to explode and it's going to burn everything up and then everything is going to be gone. And
we could probably still take the internet with us.
Yeah. Just
wherever we go.
Have a little hard drive.
Yeah.
It is wireless. I'm
sure the internet will transcend humanity for sure. So there'll be some way to do it. Satellites and things will be around longer than we will. So there'll be ways to transplant it to other places that it won't be affected by a sun exploding and things like of that nature. I fully believe that some things that humankind done will definitely transcend all of humanity for sure. There'll be fucking satellites and things floating around in space long after we're gone.
Yeah, very true. And that's a trip to think about that. We made this. We made all these computers and all this programming and all of this wireless shit to store data and everything, and it's already taking control of us. It already runs our lives. You know what I mean? Take your average person, take away their car, their cell phone, any sort of anything they have on them besides a blade maybe, and be like, go survive for a week. That person's not going to do very great. Like, they'll most likely survive, but they're going to get sick. They're probably going to get hurt at some point. Like, people don't know how to take care of each other. And it's like, oh, man, got this bong in my hand and I lost my train of thought. But whatever it was a good point. Believe you that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like Joe Rogan talks about, It's like something's going to happen where it's like transhumanism, you know what I mean? It's like we're going to take the next step into some type of technology to ensure the further existence of our species. And it's not even going to be a species anymore. It's going to be a new random thing. It's going to be an energy-based life form and a computer-based hardware or software or something like that. It's like it's going to be just like Futurama or whatever it is, where the it's just a head on a fucking little robot
just
inside of a capsule to keep your brain alive and shit, you know what I mean? And you're just going to be able to do whatever you want to do.
Yep, it's a trip. It's like, I don't know if you watch the sci-fi show Joe Rogan Questions Everything.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, he did the one where it was the robot lady, and that lady had like, I want to say it was like her partner or whatever, and she had died, and they made like some synthetic robot version of her and had just implanted all kinds of memories, things that she would say, things that she would talk about, and you can have a conversation with her, and she like feels like she's not a robot. It's almost like some Ex Machina fucking like Chappie type shit, where they really are trying to transfer consciousness into a machine, so that when you die, all of this machine will have all of your memories, everything that makes you, and then once they get that last piece in there, then you could just live in this machine forever. Which seems like seems like purgatory to me.
Kind of, because once you're there, you can never get out of it.
Because if it really is your consciousness and not just a copy of it, then you can't move on to whatever happens when we die.
Yeah, you're stuck. So it's a lot of these movie things are really coming to life. You know, it's like people will line up in the thousands to be the first to try it. You know,
yeah,
it's like people like us trying to set up a base on Mars. There was 1 million people that decided that they wanted to go be the first to live on Mars, knowing that they were being sent there to die. There's no way home. You're never coming back from there. You don't even know if you could live there or get plants or anything to grow there to be able to survive in the first place. It's a fucking death sentence, and people are lining up by the thousands.
It's all a dice shoot. And I watched a documentary that covered, I want to say it was 5 of the Mars 100. And the people that they're sending are fucking weird. Like when they announced it, it's just the strangest assortment of people, where they have a person for every walk of life. You know what I mean? Right. They have like a dude that's in a rock band. They have a guy that's like an ex-drug addict. They have a teacher. They have a physicist. So it's like everyone has a role. You know what I mean? It reminds
there should be rules before all that shit anyways. Like, those idiots shouldn't even be allowed to do it. It should be smart motherfuckers who know how to do shit in a pinch.
Yep, it should be people that have been training their whole lives to do something like this, and have been taking their lives seriously and not fucking off their whole time, and then just be like, I want to go to Mars. But then again, you kind of do want to send some kind of stupid people up there, you know, to kind of thin out the herd.
Maybe if we're like farming body parts or some shit like that. But think about this.
We don't want to take 100 of the smartest people and ship them away to death.
No, but maybe 100 of the second smartest people.
Yeah, there should be some.
You know what I mean?
And I think there are a few.
Yeah, we don't want to send some fucking dummies, because what happens if they mate with like some alien race or something and then become some super hybrid, and then we get bombed on by some fucking retards that like have some emotional setback from fucking however we abused them while they were here, you know? Right?
That shit'll stay. It'll be encoded in their genes and shit.
A whole race of alien Caitlyn Jenners coming to attack us for being mean to him and shit. You know what I mean? Like,
it'll happen. He looks like an alien, man. That face is scary.
He does. Damn, did you see Kanye go meet him and shit? Bro, Kanye looks shook. He looked like he was scared to get beat up.
Really?
Yeah. Caitlyn went to shake his hand or hug him. Looked like he was about to manhandle him and shit. It was fucking horrible.
Damn. He just has to watch what he says. That's all.
That's all he has to do. I hate that motherfucker.
Yeah. I think everybody does.
Yeah, he's just a shitty person. So all those people in Canada tried to sign a petition to not let him perform because he's not Canadian for whatever that big show they just had up there.
Yeah.
And they got a lot of signatures, and like over 100,000 or some shit, but it wasn't enough. And Kanye was mad about it, but he went up there to perform anyways because he was getting paid. And karma strikes, and his mic stops working, so he walks off the stage like a big girl.
Damn.
It's like, I swear the universe takes care of itself. I wanted to say it was karma in action, but he still got paid, so it wasn't really karma, you know?
Right. It's like, I think that probably was all orchestrated to try to just get people to talk about Kanye. You know what I mean? Here we are. We both hate Kanye West, and we're talking about him.
He really is a diva. Yeah, I'm just trying to spread awareness, man.
Yeah.
Fuck Kanye.
Awareness of the whack.
Yeah, no, I'm just playing. He's got a lot of good qualities, dude. He's an amazing producer. He's done a lot of good things. He's just so self-absorbed, and that's part of the.
I don't think he's done any good things.
Well, musically, I'm not saying towards anything else in life. I just mean musically. He's had some things musically that nobody else could have made or recreated, but he still suffers from the human condition like everybody else, and he's just a notorious self-absorbed piece of shit, you know. And that just happens. I feel like some of these people grow up so disturbed that they make everything about race and all these things, and Kanye is just one of those dudes. You know, he's just anti-white people for some reason. I don't know. You see him go up and take awards from people like Taylor Swift and the other guy from Beck or whatever. And these are white people he's trying to punk. You don't see him doing that to no black people because he don't want to get his fucking ass beat in front of everybody on stage. You know, he don't pull no punk shit on fucking Eminem or anybody with an actual crazy reputation. You know what I'm saying? He don't fuck with anybody who has any type of stance in life. He fucks with people who are non-confrontational. He fucks with a 14-year-old girl, Taylor Swift at the time, or however old she was. Yeah. You know, he fucks with an older white gentleman, Beck, somebody
who's not going to know what to do in the moment, so he knows he's going to get away with it instead of someone that would automatically get hostile. You know,
if he tried that shit with us, I'll re-break his fucking jaw. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there would be no snatching, no snatching of anything from my hand. Like it's not gonna happen.
Definitely fucking not. I'll beat his motherfucking ass with that microphone. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's crazy, bro.
It's just a sad thing because, like you said, there are good things that he's done musically, and especially, you know, I don't really listen to any of Kanye's stuff, but I have heard that early on in his career, he had a lot of potential, which is why he made it to where he is. You know, he could produce and he would write his own shit and make all these like fucking, you know, dope anthems and shit. But I think that it's just a classic case of an ego on the run, like an ego that just kept swelling and swelling. And he has this giant platform. And I think it was maybe 2 years ago I saw him perform on Saturday Night Live. And it was the most ridiculous thing I had ever seen in my life. And from what I understand, a lot of his live performances are super ridiculous. There was one where he had like Jesus come down and like fucking told him that like he was like awesome, and he was like, "You're cool, Kanye," and he was like, "Wow, thanks, Jesus." And it's like, what are you doing here, man?
He's like a real life South Park character, you know?
Right?
I mean, he's that fucked up that he probably honestly thinks all this shit is cool.
So don't you tell me about no wordplay.
Yeah.
I'm a lyrical genius.
Yeah, anybody who compares himself to all these other people without being worthy of a comparison is a fucking sociopath. This dude is disturbed. He needs mental help. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not about who you could compare yourself to. I could compare myself to fucking anybody if I wanted to. But that doesn't make me worthy of those comparisons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like
anybody can say whatever.
Yeah, it's what other people compare you to that matter. You know what I'm saying? If somebody else compares you to somebody of worth or whatever it is, then that is definitely some type of compliment. It means that you're doing something to have made somebody feel that type of emotion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't compare yourself to things and expect to be taken serious.
Yeah, and
especially to Mandela.
Yeah, he has the classic case of saying, I am this. I'm Jesus. I'm Nelson Mandela. I am Led Zeppelin. Did you hear
Maybe on Planet Kanye he is, you know what I'm saying? Maybe in his mind he really is all those things.
Yeah.
He named his kid Northwest. I mean, he must have just looked at a compass or like his GPS one day while he was driving or some shit, and he's like, "Wait, that's the greatest idea ever."
He's got to be crazy.
I'm Kanye West. My kid's gonna be Northwest. You know
Northwest. You get it? Do you get it? It's like West. It goes with West.
Yeah.
And he's like,
I don't understand it.
Imagine the conversation that a lot of people had with him while he was explaining Northwest and how North was a direction like West.
Right. Imagine the fucking conversation he has in his own head.
That's
imagine
what I'm
the
saying.
way that he imagine how he has to like talk himself into things before he does anything.
Yeah.
He just looks like
I think all of his filters are broken. They're all just have giant holes in them. And he also someone like that is very famous and, you know, as far as I know, is not on drugs. You got to question somebody that isn't like, you know, if he was this crazy and on drugs, it would be pretty apparent. But if you're not on drugs and you're acting like this, you really have no excuse but insanity.
When I hear him talk in his normal voice and try to hold a conversation, that's when I start to worry about him because I feel like there really is something wrong with him. You know what I'm saying? It's not normal the way he talks, his mannerisms when he speaks, the his little soft voice and everything, you know what I'm saying?
And people,
it's nothing like his persona of what he tries to claim to be or what he acts like publicly. He's like multiple personalities, or like he's schizophrenic, or like sociopathic, or he's got multiple things wrong with him, basically, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and everybody's applauding him and nobody's helping him.
Right, because he doesn't realize he's not in on the joke. He is the joke. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's basically turned into. Him and his fucking wife. You know?
Yeah.
They're public displays of fucking comedy, basically. Yeah. That's all they are. They're just entertainment.
Yeah, he's just another version of like a harvest, a celebrity or a sports figure harvest that we exploit. And you know, like I made this connection a while ago. It tripped me out. I don't remember where I initially heard this at, but it was something about how the world's, like, the culture of America, like, survives on sacrifice, human sacrifice, and how people still, you know, like, talk about Jesus. Everything's cool because this guy died, you know, 2,000 years ago for our sins, and he died in a horrible, painful way. So, you know, a lot of people believe that shit less and less every day. And then all the way up to celebrities where, you know, we'll catch them doing something. We'll get them up to a giant level of fame to where everybody loves them. And then we'll exploit them for something that they're doing, like whether it be drugs or hookers, and then just totally run their name in the ground and destroy their career while we all sit back and watch. And the same with football players. We take young, smart kids that are in high school that have to get good grades to play football, so you know they're smart. And we bash their heads together for about 5 years until they're brain dead, and then we throw them to the side for someone new. And that could have been a potential, he could have, you know, cured cancer, but instead he's brain dead now, so that we could all cheer and scream and feel powerful. It's like the Romans in the Colosseum.
I just want to point out to people listening that these are just our opinions. These are just thoughts. They're not facts. They're not anything serious. Don't get your fucking feelings hurt or your panties in a wad if Kanye's your favorite artist or anything like that. Because
or if you love watching football, that's fine.
Yeah, or if you're religious or any of these things that subjects that we're touching on that might hurt your feelings, just know that everybody's entitled to their opinion. It don't mean shit. It don't mean nothing. I realize more than most that there's a lot of Kanye fans out there. I realize that there's a lot of religious weird people. I realize that, you know what I mean? Being different and being able to have your own values and beliefs is what America's based on. You know
yeah, exactly. So, and that's a good point. We're not trying to put anyone down for what you like, what you believe. That's the greatness of living here, that you can have your own opinions. You can think how you want, and you could be into whatever the fuck you want to be into. And we're not really one to say that you can't do that, but we will talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, it's cool to have opinions and state them. It's definitely not cool to do them in a way to hurt people, like you were just saying. You know, like this whole racism thing with Hulk Hogan. You know, supposedly these remarks from the transcript that he says were over 5 years old. They're hanging him out to dry right now over something that happened 5 years ago that at the time nobody really seemed to give a shit about. And that's becoming more of a trend lately, is people are suffering. Like you said, they're being held up in the public eye for so long, and everybody loves them until one little mistake or setback that might not have even happened today is all of a sudden affecting them and everything that they built towards. You know? So I feel like people just need to tone it down just a little bit. Yeah, you might not agree with whatever happened or whatever, but that doesn't make it valid enough for you to ruin somebody's plight in life, you know, or to like take away from what they have to offer.
Yeah. So what if Bill Cosby liked to have sex with sleeping girls? That's his thing. Everybody's got their thing.
Yeah. So what if he liked date rape? You know what I mean? That was a 70s thing, you know?
Yeah, it was all cool.
Everybody was doing it.
You see that old interview with him when he was talking about Spanish Fly that came out like right after this all happened? Well,
he had a whole bit about it. He had a stand-up routine where he used to fucking make light of it.
I got the record on vinyl.
Yeah, so it's like, it's funny that some irrelevant comedian like Hannibal Buress could do a bit about that and totally ruin Cosby's life and career and everything from stuff that was already public knowledge.
Yeah.
So he already went through court and had to admit guilt and had to fucking pay out some settlements for these accusations 5 or 10 years ago or whatever as well. So in 2005 or some shit or whatever it was. So it's like shit comes to light in the public light way after the fact, and all of a sudden it's mass outrage. And you know what I'm saying? It's like I feel like you judgmental pricks should have fucking been judgmental when it happened,
exactly,
not after the fact. Your opinion has become irrelevant once 5 or 10 years have passed. Yep. You know what I mean?
Because
honestly, people need to fucking learn how to Google shit. Just like we said last time, it's like, do some research before you post some shit. Do some research before you feel entitled to have an opinion about something that you don't really fucking know about.
Yep.
It's like politics, you know? It's like so many people are so hurt over this Donald Trump shit, saying, oh, he's a racist because his views on Mexico or whatever, but all he's made is valid points. All he said is, yeah, there's fucked up immigrants that come here that fuck everything up. There's just as many or more good ones.
Yeah.
You know,
he never said every single one. He just made a point that people didn't like to hear that people come over the border and commit crimes, and then there's no consequence for them, and they just get sent back to Mexico,
get sent home,
and then they come back again.
So he has a valid point, you know? He does have a valid point. It's just people are oversensitive to everybody's fucking issues, you know, instead of looking at the bigger picture.
Yep,
and I think you shouldn't be talking about politics if you don't know shit about it. If you don't know anything about Donald Trump, why are you jumping on the bandwagon to hate on him? I feel like the two best candidates right now are Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders, and they're the two least understood.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, like you said, a lot of people like to talk on it when they don't know what, they're not informed at all. A lot of people like to talk on a lot of shit they're not informed on. And I think that's just how it's turned into. And when it comes to, you know, the Bill Cosby thing and the Hulk Hogan thing, this is, I think that those needed to ripen, because in the times when it happened, it wasn't really a hot button like it is now. Like, it seems like racism was, you know, a problem that was being dealt with when we were kids. And then it turned into, you know, like gay and lesbian couples. That was kind of the big focus. And then drug, like, legalization, marijuana legalization. A lot of people were tied up into that, invested into that emotionally and shit. And then now it's getting back around to racism again, it seems like. Everything that you hear is so-and-so was racist. This needs to stop. Cops, white cops shot this black kid. Like, it's all racism now. So that's when this information would be the juiciest and when people would react the biggest. You know what I mean? So I think that it was just taking something that nobody paid attention to because it wasn't the norm in, you know, for everyone to be talking about it around the water cooler, and it wasn't the hot button and the big thing in the news, so nobody really cared, and then it was just kind of rebranded when it came back around. You know what I mean? And like you said, people are too easily offended.
It's just like anything else in life. You got to choose your battles, you know? When you choose to let the irrelevant arguments take up all your time, that's going to be the only thing you have time for. When you're only worried about the racism problems and all the terroristic things that are going on with the churches burning, all the things that we're doing to ourselves right now, when you're worried and your focus is all on that shit,
it's
all
like
the other shit
it's like when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. So you're going to be looking for it in everything.
Right, and I feel like there's way more important things that we should all be focused on, like $17 trillion debt.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a problem.
We're more in debt than countries have ever even had money. You know what I mean?
There's not even money to back up the debt. It's all hypothetical.
If China cashed in on our debt, America would be bankrupt tomorrow.
We would be China tomorrow. They would just be like, all right, so we own you now. This is China.
You know, there's a couple of things that you guys got to think about. It's like, if you're not careful, what are you going to do when Hillary's president? What are you going to do when another Bush is president? What the fuck are any of us going to do? What hope do we have if we let some fucking morons run the country again? Yep. You know what I mean? It's like the two-party system and money and politics have ruined everything. You know, you shouldn't be able to put $1 billion into a campaign to get a job that you only make $500,000 a year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that is fucking unsensical. It's like saying you're going to ride up to your campaign on a unicorn. It's just not going to happen. You know what I mean? It's some things that shouldn't exist. You shouldn't be able to have that much money in politics, because without it, all the influence would be gone.
Yeah, because
there wouldn't be lobbyists.
America's
there wouldn't be
based
pharmaceutical companies and corporations and everything else that are running everything now. They would have nothing to run because they would have no say, because we didn't take their money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's basically what it all boils down to. It's like, if we don't do something, I honestly feel like Donald Trump could be one of our best options ever. The dude is a self-made billionaire twice over. He's done it once, went bankrupt, and then done it again even bigger. You know what I mean? If you let somebody who is money motivated like that take a crack at running a corporation, which happens to be America, we are almost guaranteed to come out of debt.
Yeah.
At least some point. And then if you toss in legalizing marijuana at the same time, we could be out of debt, completely out of debt, within 5 to 10 years.
Absolutely.
It's like Colorado has a problem where they just made $50 million in taxes on weed and can't spend it. They don't have nothing they could spend it on, and that is a crazy issue to have. It makes no sense that every state is not like that.
Yeah, to have too many millions of dollars. That would help. That would help our problems a lot.
Yeah, it's like, fuck, I want those kind of problems in California. You
right?
know what I mean?
Man, I think it's right around the corner, man. I think that there will be a day within the life of this podcast, not even within our lifetimes, there will be an episode that you and me will be sitting here together talking, and weed will be recreationally legal, like nationwide.
I hope it's next year.
I guarantee it, man. I'm going to call it that it's going to happen. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to play this part when it does.
Yeah, I've been on the 2016 bandwagon. I'm telling you, I feel like it's so close. People don't even realize it. And if people aren't educated, get educated and look at the facts of what's happening with all the tax money in the legal states already. Look at how much people are benefiting from everything. They're even about to classify PTSD as a good enough reason to use the medicinal benefits of edibles and things like that, which other states are already trying to outlaw. It's like, what do you think's gonna happen if you let Jeb Bush or Chris Christie or fucking Hillary? Yep. Hillary's a flip flop.
That's all gonna be gone. Like, everything that everyone's been fighting for is done.
Yeah, everything that we've worked to get to, you're all about to let go down the drain because you're stuck in a two-party system. You can't realize that, somebody from an independent party or somebody that's not from the same Democrats and Republicans can actually fucking shake some shit up and make some waves, Yeah, it's like,
people are too afraid to do that.
There. Yeah, I get that we're stuck there for right now. So if you're going to stay stuck, you might as well use the best choice possible. Pick a fucking Bernie. Pick a Donald Trump. Don't worry about small things that offend you or bother you, because in the bigger scheme of things, all of us are way more important than your little feelings.
Yeah.
The benefit of a nation is obviously going to be way more beneficial than the Mexicans' feelings or the immigrants' feelings of his Mexican comments. You know what I'm saying? It's like your skin needs to be a bit thicker than that if you're going to come to America in the first place. You need to realize that you want to be a part of this country too, right? You want to have the same benefits as everybody else. I want you to have those same benefits as everybody else. I want everybody to be equal. The only way for that to be possible is for people to change the way they think and look at things as a bigger picture. Look what benefits all of us. See what there is to offer for everybody. If we come out of debt, none of us got nothing to worry about. More jobs, more money. There will actually be classes again instead of just the rich and the poor. You know what I'm saying? People are going to have equal opportunities to do everything. There's so much more to it than these stupid stands on non-policy issues. You know what I'm saying? It's like people would just want to talk because it's a trending topic. Oh, everybody else is talking about it. I guess we should drop a hashtag and talk about it too.
Right, right. And I think that I think that we'll be able to do that with marijuana, just with the taxes from it. If it was nationwide, every state, and everybody was growing it and taxing it and selling it, it would be ridiculous amount of money coming in. And I think that with all the recent documentaries like The Culture High and The Union, and when Sanjay Gupta, he had his whole hour-long CNN special that was talking about weed, how it was a gateway drug. Like, it was back in the 90s or like early 2000s. And he was like, you know, marijuana's, the kids are on it and it gets them into coke and meth and it's horrible for you and it gives you lung cancer. And he did this whole like propaganda bullshit. And then just, I want to say like 4 years ago, maybe 3, he came out and did a whole new 1 hour special. And he said that he had been studying marijuana for the past 5 years. And he retracted all the statements that he made in his first special, said that he was ignorant, that he didn't look into it. A lot of it he was saying because the executives had told him that he had to have a certain stance. And
because he was paid to.
Yep. And the channel had, you know, the management had changed since, and they let him do free, you know, like research on it and everything, clinical research. And he came back with all kinds of shit talking about how he was the one that found out that CBDs reverse tumors. That they'll fight tumors, shrink them, and then they'll actually blow up into pieces and turn back into muscle tissue. And that's insane. We don't have a medicine that could do that. And along with the healing powers, it also helps with nausea, which is a lot of the medicine makes people sick. So he came out with all this shit and was man enough to say, I was wrong, I was misinformed, this is what it could do, and I think that we need to legalize it or at least start doing some sort of research.
It's just like the global warming shit, you know? It's like people will say whatever they're paid to say. Even a respectable doctor, a person like Sanjay Gupta, he was probably paid to be anti-weed at first, you know what I mean? That's the type of power that money has over people and corporations and things.
It's like Dr.
Follow
Drew.
The money.
Dr. Drew had he had a lawsuit because there was a pharmaceutical company that got busted doing something illegally, and their offices got raided, and in their computers they found transactions from between them and Dr. Drew from Loveline. He has his own show or whatever now.
Yeah,
and
Celebrity Rehab.
No, it was after that. He had like, I think he still has the talk show going on. He does like a daytime talk show thing. But he started like promoting this new birth control. I want to say it was Yaz. And he was like, you know, this is like the new birth control. It does this and this for you, and it's really good, and it helps fight potential like cancer, and every woman should take this. And he was giving it to people, prescribing it to all of his patients, and they come to find out that this pharmaceutical company had paid him $16 million to push this birth control. And Dr. Drew is like, I don't know about you, but I kind of trust this guy. You know what I mean? Like, he seems like a pretty straightforward dude. Like, I was listening to Loveline when I was a kid. I watched Celebrity Rehab, and he seems like he just wants the best for people. You know what I mean? That he's been fighting people with addiction his whole life, trying to help heal people. And that was fucked up to hear, you know? And he's one of hundreds of thousands of influential people that get paid to have an opinion.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing is he's just as human as the rest of us. He suffers from the same condition as the rest of us. He suffers from a want for money and wealth and things just like everybody else. Yep. If I had an opportunity to make 16 mil by pushing somebody's fucking campaign, please believe I'd do it too.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter what my personal stance is.
But then again, you haven't.
I would probably say my own personal stance doesn't agree with it, but I would still push the fuck out of it.
See, even you would say that your own personal stance doesn't agree with it, but Dr. Drew took an oath as a doctor to always do the best to help heal people and not inflict harm on people. And that's some serious shit. You know what I mean? That's an oath to heal. And he broke that. So that's some heavy shit. Like, you and me would do that, but we're regular people. Like, and he already has money. $16 million probably ain't shit to Dr. Drew. It's a lot, but guarantee he has more.
Per year.
Yeah, he has more than that in his bank. So.
Yeah.
But the point is, everyone could be bought.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is $16 million in a lump sum is different than having $16 million in assets. You can have $16 million worth of things and still be broke as fuck.
True.
You know, it's just like how you have your money invested and what you do with it. $16 million cash is a fucking chunk of change.
That's very hard. It's very hard to turn down.
do anything you want with that shit.
Yep. All right, man. Well, we're about out of time, but you know, I would definitely love to keep doing these with you, man, because I'm gonna need a co-host. And
yeah, so let's make it a weekly occurrence. I'm totally with it. I think that this is a cool experience for other people to get to see our views, our differences, our similarities. It just shows that people everywhere are on the same type of brainwaves, whether they want to realize it or not. We're all connected, you know. And for us to be two completely different type of people, make two completely different types of music, live in two completely different areas, and still be able to come together and connect and talk about the things that we do, I feel like it's really important. And we're doing this service to people to let them know that, you know, it's okay to be you, to be different, dare to be different, dare to take a chance on yourself and
absolutely
and live your life, you know.
Yep. And I would just like to point out that we have not been paid any amount of money by anybody to express these opinions. This is just us unfiltered. And, you know, you have all of these thoughts and feelings inside of you and how you feel about certain things. And you can go and express that shit to anybody, man. Have a conversation with people. I mean, me and Joey just talked for an hour, you know, about, we didn't have anything set up. Like, we just started this call and we just been talking ever since. And, you know,
no pre-planned talking points.
Yeah, think about the conversations that people have, you know, out in life. You talk to people and they're like, so did you see this video on Facebook? And then they like show it to them, and then like someone else is on their phone and like not really a part of it. And people don't really talk about shit. They're like, so where's the party at this weekend or some shit? But it's like, there's actual things happening in the world and you should pay attention to it, because eventually you're going to die. And then all that shit you didn't experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, communication is key in everything in life. You know, learn how to talk to each other, communicate, make a podcast, express your own views, you know, make videos on YouTube, start a YouTube channel, make some music, do something that's going to affect the people around you. Try to keep everybody connected instead of push each other farther apart. Let's just remember that we're all on the same American team.
Yep.
If you're an American, and
even
to everybody else, fuck you.
Damn, this podcast is no longer worldwide.
I'm just kidding. I love everybody.
I know we're all the same. We're all the same shit. You know what I mean? Like, I like to say that we're all this, like, you are me living a different life with different circumstances and experiencing different things, but we're pretty much from the same source. You know what I mean? And that goes with any random person listening. I could point at anybody in the world, and that person is pretty much the same thing as me. Like, we're both being pushed by the same force. And
every one of us is a lens. Every one of us is a camera. We're just all shooting the same movie, you know?
Yep. I like it. I look at it like a ball of light with a blanket over it, and there's a billion holes in the blanket, and everybody's a beam of light, and everybody thinks that they're different and special, and they're the bright beam, or their beam's a little blue, but every beam is the same and the same color, and it's all coming from this one light source. And never forget that we're all together. So next time you try to fuck somebody over or try to rob somebody or bang somebody's wife, be like, hey, did they hurt me? And if the answer is no, then you should probably find someone that did.
Right.
That's it. That's my words of wisdom. So thank you, man. It's been an honor having you here, and I'm looking forward to doing more.
As always.
Peace.
Take care, bitches.
The Natural Habitat Podcast.